turn it to the side, take the square root of 2, cube it, take that
divided by 2.
And you do this thing where you happen to know the large decimal expansion up to a point, which is increases people's confidence. You got to be worried because that's like the confidence in con man too. But you make a point. We have a name for the thing you call a loop. We call it a fixed point.
A fixed point.
A fixed point. Now, a fixed point, you have something called a transformation. The transformation, let me see if Jamie, if we can bring that back. So I'm just trying to standardize can we go below that? Let me see. Okay, Terrence loop. You have a mapping T for Terrence from the real numbers to the real numbers given by x cubed divided by 2. If you take the polynomial y cubed minus 2y equals 0, that factors as y minus square root of 2 times y plus square root of 2 times y minus 0. You claim that there's only one number that satisfies a fixed point relationship according to that mapping, which you call a loop. There are actually 3, 0, negative square root of 2, and 2. You make the correct point that if you iterate that for numbers above the square root of 2, it's going to go off to infinity. If you were to go below numbers of square root of 2 but above 0, it'll go towards 0. 0 will go to 0. Mm-hmm. And then you have the same thing below negative square root of 2. It'll go off to negative infinity. And above square root of 2 but below 0, I think it'll go off to 0. Okay? That thing is studied under fixed point theory. And you can look up the Lefschetz fixed point theorem, the Kakutani fixed point theorem, the Brouwer fixed point theorem. All of these are proofs that you have to have fixed points. Now I thought, why does he keep doing this riff? And then I realized that he's got a thing about everything is in motion. So for him, it's unnatural and illogical, you use both words, that the square root of 2 would be fixed under this iterated experiment. Now, that is not unnatural. There's something, I hate to say it, it's called the hairy ball theorem. Can we bring up the hairy ball theorem?
Before you put your hairy balls on my pieces.
That was good. Okay, the hairy ball theorem says that you cannot comb the hair on a rambutan without creating a colic. So let's see if we have any cool images of it. In other words, if you have a map of the wind that is going along the surface of a sphere, there has to be some point which is perfectly still. If you have a map of a sphere to a sphere, there has to be some point that doesn't move. In other words, what you're saying about things can't be still is not only incorrect, it is impossible